So hear me out. Let me throw an idea out there. For those of you who are very intuitive, empathic, aware, spiritual, and you don't tend to get physically sick very often, maybe once or twice a year, if that, but you do deal with bouts of depression. And what if, you know how like when you get a cold, right? You have to let it play itself out. You can take medicine, you can take all the pills, you can do whatever, but at the end of the day, you have to wait for that cold to play itself out. And after you get over that cold, you are now immune to it because your body has adapted and knows how to fight it because it's now dealt with it, right? So, what if when you have a bout of depression, what if that's just an empath version of getting a cold or flu, right? Because with depression, you can take the meds, you could do this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, you have to wait for it to pass, right? And at the end of my bouts with depression, I usually have something very insightful and inspirational happen. And I know how to deal with something a little bit more. And so I feel like the bouts of depression and anxiety are actually empaths and intuitives' way of getting a cold, but mentally. We have it more mentally and in our headspace because we're very aware and we're connected to the higher frequencies, the ideas. We can feel and sense things that are outside of the 3D. Whereas those of us who tend to be more grounded and in the 3D, you'll get a cold instead. So again, I have no way to prove this, but this is just something that has come to mind and something I am noticing within my own experience. And when I mention it to my clients, they're like, oh, this makes sense to me. And it's a good way to look at it as opposed to it being entirely negative. Yes, it's inconvenient to have a cold. Yes, it's inconvenient and frustrating when we have bouts of depression. But that's also our body forcing us to slow down to speed up. So when we have a cold or flu, depression, whatever, we're kind of having to slow down a bit, whether we like it or not. But while we're slowing down, what if our body is upgrading so that we are better equipped to go to the next level? You ever think about that? Like maybe being empathic and intuitive and having bouts of depression is just your version of having a cold and upgrading.